Welcome to Search Talk Live with search engine optimization and marketing experts Robert O'Haver and Caleb McKelvin, powered by the Robert Palmer family of companies.
Welcome to another episode of Search Talk Live. My name is Robert O'Haver, search engine optimization and social media and all that
everything, all
blah,
the
blah,
above.
blah stuff expert, along with Caleb McKelvin, expert in social media, search, all the other things, social media, search engine optimization.
The entire realm of digital marketing.
Yeah, and Caleb, how's it going today?
It's going good, Robbo. Going good, man. Excited about the show today.
I am
excited
too.
about everything we have going on with previously Digital Duo, now Search Talk Live. And, we've been busy because we got a lot to do and a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, want to talk about those things too. I mean, this is our new home, Spreaker.com, and we'll be broadcasting live here every single day, week, every Tuesday from 3:30 to 4:30, talking about search engine marketing, search engine optimization, social media, whatever you want to talk about. In fact, what we'd like you to do is call in. The number here is 855-722-0006. Call in and ask questions, bring up topics, whatever you think of. But yeah, we're working on getting the show on iTunes. We've submitted it. We're just waiting for them to go through and review it. We're also working on a mobile app so you can actually do chats and stuff right from your phone and listen to the show.
Yep.
Live on the show, which is it's going to be pretty awesome. It'll be both available for Android, iOS, and
iPhone.
And iPhone, yes. Well, iOS is iPhone, but I just said it wrong. If you enjoy the show, we ask that you please follow us on Spreaker, because one of the things another option we're trying to do is get on iHeart Radio for podcasts, which would be huge. It would bring a huge listenership to us, and we can get our words out and help people, a larger crowd. So what we need is more followers. The show is new to this page, so if you can follow us on Spreaker, that we'd much appreciate the support. Caleb, what do you want to talk about today? I know there's one thing I did want to bring up. There was some discussion with John Mueller of Google last week, and he was kind of speculating the possibility of rich snippets being a search rank signal, which that's pretty huge.
That is very huge.
Because, I mean, it only makes sense because what rich snippets does is kind of aggregate or take that data and structure it in a way that it just makes sense, and that should be a ranking signal.
Absolutely. I mean, with those rich snippets, I think this is just another step. We see it all the time. Everything that they're trying to do is move towards making it the ultimate user experience, given the exact information that you're looking for, making sure that, whatever you're searching for, whatever you want, whatever you need, they're there to provide it. And having this as a ranking signal and having those available to you, is just huge for search engine rankings.
Yeah, and I mean it makes sense for all search engines to do that because it is what it's called. It's structured data.
Yep.
It structures everything, so Google knows just from one little snippet of code, whether it be whatever the micro data or JSON script that you use to put on the site, it just spells it out for you. There's no guesswork.
No, it's all direct information on what you're providing, what kind of content's on there, and what the user's going to find. So I think it's definitely a step in the right direction, and something I think, even though he was hinting at it, that it's going to be happening in the future.
Yeah, and regardless if it is a ranking signal or not, you should have it on your site.
Yeah. Especially
if you're a local business, because it does give off those. It doesn't matter if you're local or international, but local business can really benefit from it because schema.org has specifics where you can put in your address, your location, what type of business you are, and all that is just part of the big picture to make Google understand that, what your site is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, if you have a website and you're not using these things, it's so important to leave no stone unturned in letting search engines know who you are, where you are, and what you're providing, because the more guesswork they have to do, the worse your results are going to be. And so you want to leave, nothing on the table. You want to provide all the information possible. And this is just a step to do that. And the more information that you provide, the less guesswork that that they have to do, the better it's going to be for your results.
Absolutely. And it's even though it kind of in a non-directional direct way is a search ranking right now, because if Google understands solid how your site is and what it's all about, then that's all it needs to understand what you are and how it needs to rank you. And if you're on par with your content and all that stuff, then there's no reason why you shouldn't rank.
Right.
So, I mean, and you can also mark up videos, which is really important because Google can't read a video. So if you do structured markup on videos, you have a description just for the video. You have titles and all that good stuff. It's also very important because, it ranks in videos, on Google search.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the important things I think a lot of people, especially content sites, forget to do is to mark up those videos. They look great. You might be getting some social shares for them. You might be getting a lot of views, but, it's one of those things that if you provide the information on what that video is about, then they're able to use your content, use your video for what somebody might be searching and say, hey, this is actually something that you really need to see and is worth your time and is quality content. And so that markup, could be huge for your site.
Right. And, as videos go, you can come across as an authority if you have videos and stuff that are good content and good information that people don't know and are looking for. What better for people to see is you talking on a video or your company, your brand, and walking through that.
Yeah.
And I think that segues into what you were to talk about earlier with the branding, right?
Well, I mean, one of the things that, kind of came up this week, that, we had been working on a little bit and I was speaking with one individual about is a newsletter for your website, your e-newsletter. And I think that's one of the things that, surprisingly, a lot of websites don't utilize as far as a marketing and communication tool for their website with their audience, which is pretty crazy. Yeah. And, there are a lot of people that do it and they kind of do it, I'm not going to say wrong, but they could be doing it better to help themselves. There's simple ways to do it, but I think it's one thing that takes some strategy. It takes, some thought into it to have that effective e-newsletter, for people to sign up. If you've ever gone to a site, you've been on it for a few seconds, and all of a sudden you'll see something pop up, sign up for a newsletter, get our information right to your inbox, so on and so forth. Some of them seem kind of spammy and you're like, no. And some of them are like, hey, I actually do really want to sign up for that. But, that e-newsletter is such a powerful marketing and communication tool for your website and how you can interact with your audience and honestly how you can grow your audience base and people coming back to your website. And so, I think that's one thing that if you're not using it, it's something that you should be using. Don't you think, Rob?
Absolutely. I mean, you're building a following there. And if it's somebody that's purchased your product or reads your blog and likes the content that you provide, then those people are going to come back every week or, whatever frequency you put that newsletter out. And that builds and builds and builds to eventually you have literally thousands of people hitting your site each time that newsletter goes out. It doesn't build, all the time, but I mean, it doesn't happen overnight, but it's something that, once that's built up and it just continues to just snowball into this giant list of like you used to call it, your army.
Yeah. Yeah, it is your army. I mean, one thing that I like to tell people is that even if you're a content site, that can be your call to action right there. I mean, you always have a website. You always, everybody wants a call to action. What are they going to do when you go on your website? Well, don't let them leave with nothing. Don't let them come on there and, they're reading your content, but give them something. And that newsletter is an awesome way to have that interaction with them, for you to monitor the audience that you have on your website. And just like you said, I love to say it, your audience base is from a marketing perspective, online, that is your army. That's the most powerful tool you can use to get your content out there. And that's something you have to tap into, and that e-newsletter is just one way to do it. So, I mean, your audience, you provide them that content every week. You know, you send it to their inbox. You might not think they're going to check it, but you would actually be really surprised. I'm signed up on some newsletters myself in kind of different niches, and I love looking at them and seeing what they got. Sometimes I'll open it and not click on anything, but some things will really catch my eye, and I'll read it. But you're putting it right in front of them. You know, they might forget to come to your site that week. They might forget to, they might not have had time or just forgot, whatever it may be. So you're providing that right there for them. But, I mean, there's so many reasons why you need it. Building that strong relationship with your audience. And I think that's one thing that, a lot of people forget is it's all about the relationship that you have with your audience. People want to know that you care about them. People know that you're offering them something. People know that, you're focusing on their wants and their needs. And so, but you're building that strong relationship with your audience, and you have so many new visitors to your site daily. And if you're not giving them that option to tap into your content, to get on that level, and to reach them through that newsletter, then you're just kind of missing out, because they might have that option and they do it, but if you don't give them that option, they see your content and then they don't come back. You could have just lost out on a whole different perspective and a whole different visitor that's going to come back regularly and start that relationship with you.
Yeah, and we touched on this last week, but I think it's important that we talk about it again, because you've had recently did a website and it's going gangbusters.
Yeah, it was great. We had just started a newsletter for it, and it's a content website, and started it last Friday afternoon. I was building it for them and getting the whole pop up for people to sign in and structuring the newsletter for them. Came back over the weekend, and it was over 100 just in a couple of days, and that's 100 people's contact information that we have. That's 100. That's an audience that we know is a loyal audience. They want our content, and that's our army right there. It's a small one right now. It's continuing to grow. I checked it before we even came over here. It's continuing to grow, but now we know what we can provide people with content, and then we give them that shareable content, and they just spread it out. I mean, it just spreads out to their friends, to their family, to everybody they come in interaction with online. Hey, check this out. Did you see this? That's just more powerful for your website and getting that content out there, because just like Mr. Mueller said, it's all about that shareable content. He doesn't want you to go out and build links. It's all about getting your content shared, and this is one way to get that content shared as much as possible.
Yeah, and you got to run the math too. Like if you have 1,000 people hitting your site every week that you put out that newsletter, then if they like your content, they share it on social media, say 1% of that, or even, let's say 1%, 10 people share that on social media, and then that brings in more people, and then it just builds up, and then brings people, there's a certain percentage of those people are going to convert or, sign up for that newsletter. It's huge.
Yeah.
You just don't understand. Like even, a company that's really taken it to another step is Amazon. They use what's called retargeting, and basically what they do is they tell you, you go to their site and you look at a product, and then once you've looked at that product, you're downloading that cookie. They know what you're,
they got you.
What product you looked at.
Yeah, they know your interests.
And then what do at the end of say the week or whatever? They have a certain day they put this out. They put out a newsletter. And guess what's on that newsletter? Everything you wanted, and it was on that thing.
If you looked at something and didn't buy it, you can bet you're going to see it in that newsletter, because they know you're interested. They know that you wanted to click the buy button. They know you wanted to do that, but you're going to see that and things just like it in that newsletter. And how powerful is that? Because you look at it and you have that, that itch. Oh, I need to buy it, but I'm going to wait for a minute. You see it again. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to buy it. That's just so powerful. And, they're very focused, and it might seem complex, but if that's something you're able to do, especially if you have a product and, people have come on there and maybe they didn't buy your product and you didn't have a conversion, just being able to get it in front of them again, that's, you're increasing that chance that, they're going to buy your product.
Right. If you're an e-commerce site, you can do stuff like that, maybe on a smaller scale, obviously, but That is just so powerful, man. I don't know how much money I spend on Amazon because I'm like, I'm going to wait. And then I get that email.
Right.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, guys, if you want to call in with your questions, talk about a specific topic, we can talk over social media, search engine optimization, any kind of marketing, paid advertising. We can do that. You can reach us at 800-222-5. No, I'm sorry. 800. What is it? 855-722-0006. I don't know why.
Robert's head's in a lot of different places.
Yeah,
He's all over the place. But yeah, 855-722-0006. Call on in. But yeah, more of this newsletter. If you're a small content site, which there's a lot of them out there, there's so many of them out there, and a lot of them have really, really, really awesome quality content, but they're just not getting the eyes on it. And this newsletter is such a great way to do it. Sharing your content sharing opportunities are going to increase so much because people love to hit that share button. They love to shoot it out on Twitter. People love to be active on their social media. And if they find something interesting, they're going to share it with their friends. They're just going to shoot it out on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, whatever it may be. And this increases those chances that you're going to get more eyes and more shares on your content. But what it does go back to is it's all about quality content. You can put all this stuff in your newsletter and it's not very good, then you can expect your chances are going to be very slim. But it all goes back to that quality content.
Yeah.
And that's probably, I know that's kind of, we talk about it all the time, but I mean, that's one of the most important things that you could possibly do.
Yeah. And to keep building that mailing list, you're going to have to put out quality content.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to have people opting out. And I would also recommend putting, when you do the mailing list, is maybe doing double opt-in. Because when you have the double opt-in and they sign up, they get another email and they say, did you subscribe to this? And you click a button and say yes. Those are the most solid lists you can build.
Yeah.
Your bounce rate's going to be extremely low, and you don't have to worry about, people marking you as spam, because when you're using services like MailChimp or Constant Contact, it can take one person to lock down your account.
Right.
So it's extremely important to build that list in a proper way. So you want a good quality list.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and a lot of you might be thinking, well, how do I actually create a newsletter? What should be in my newsletter? What should be my mindset when putting a newsletter? And that's actually a really, really good question to have. And that's something, when you are starting this, you have to sit down and ask these questions, because you have to have an understanding of what you're actually going to be providing, because you can turn people off very quickly and provide all this spam and they're just like, this is not worth my time. It's just filling in my inbox. Or you can provide quality content that they're going to be looking forward to every week, or when they do see it, they're like, oh, I need to open this because, I read an article last week that was awesome. Let's see what they have. Maybe you've done a series, you're going to include part 1 one week, part 2 the next week, part 3, so on and so forth, giving them something to come back to. I think one of the things that I've seen is that some companies, some sites take it upon themselves to make it kind of a promotional tool. It feels like solicitation. They're promoting themselves. They're promoting their brand. They're promoting everything. And I don't think that's something that's very good practices when handling these newsletters, because that can feel like, way too much. You can feel like, well, they're just putting this in my inbox to sell me something. And you can turn people off very quickly doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you got to make sure your frequency's not crazy.
Yeah.
Because, people will get tired of seeing you in their inbox, and an easy way for them to get rid of you is to opt out.
Yeah.
So you want to keep it to where it's not too far apart, but keep a good frequency so they keep you in mind. But another thing you can do too is, and especially if you're an article site, is you can automate this stuff. And I mentioned this in the last episode, but I definitely want to bring it up, is like if you use a service like MailChimp, you can set up an automation so that it pulls your RSS feed, and it'll give a list of all your articles for that week. Like if you do your mailing list every week, you can have a list of the top 10 articles or the most recent articles that were put out or post, and then it's hands off from there.
Right.
You're basically keep funneling them to the site, and then it's automated. It's hands off.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that's one easy way to do it, especially if you're providing that quality content. Just have it, they might have read one article but didn't see the other 3, 4, or 5 that you had, having that automation and having that feed go right to them. I mean, you already know they like your content, so just give them more.
Right. If you're an e-commerce site, you can do the same thing. You can almost do like what Amazon does with the what do you call it? The cookies, the retargeting. And have that automated. Now that takes some setting up, and it takes a while to set up. But once it's done, it's the same thing. It's set and forget it.
Yeah.
You just got to come up with a template and what works for you, or works best, or converts best. That's another A/B test type of thing. But
right, definitely. Well, like I said, I think you refrain from kind of like the solicitation feel to everything. Being very informative, being educational is something I think has a very good response from your users, from audiences who do get newsletters. Like I said, have a plan. If you have specific categories on your site, if you focus on specific types of content throughout, maybe make it, focusing on that for 1 week, and, whatever you may have, if it's who knows what, but if you have a lot of people following that type of content, or you've had good interaction with it on Twitter, Facebook, social media, you might need to focus on that certain thing. People are interested in it, but I think a good thing, people are like, well, maybe I have a newsletter and people aren't signing up for it. And this might come out kind of harsh, but it might be that your sign up form, your sign up page, your pop up might be a little boring and kind of bland, and I think that can turn people off as well. I think it's important to be creative with it.
Sure, absolutely.
So, I mean, it's a good way to set expectations up front. If you set expectations up front, I think you'll see your signups increase tremendously. If they see that you're creative, if they see that you're engaging, and if they see that, hey, this is actually really cool, they're going to sign up for it. They'll be more inclined just to see what it is. They know they can opt out of it, so they just want to see what it is, see what they're going to get. I think a good thing to do is maybe provide a little preview of what they could get, of what it's going to look like, of the type of content they're going to get. Maybe providing a little preview is something that can help you out, just so they have those expectations and they understand what they're going to be getting. So that could be a way to help them being like, well, I'm not sure. You might get some people that say no, but I think if you outline it on what they're actually going to get, people will be more inclined to actually sign up.
Right, and also if you do a pop up or something, you want to make sure it's not too intrusive. You don't want it to pop up on every page or whatever. You want it to show up one time, or you can have it where you want to make sure they're really interested in your content. Is maybe if they go to a second page, then pop it up.
Yeah.
That you just don't want it to be like, bam, that's the first thing they see when they hit the site. You want to, even maybe put a delay on it. If you want it to show up on the first page, the first page they load, then wait 30 seconds or wait, a minute or whatever you think is appropriate. But you certainly don't want the first thing they see when they come to your site is a pop-up, because that's an instant turn off.
Yeah. I think you can look at your analytics for that to see kind of pages per session, how many people, how many pages are people going to. If you see that they're going to a lot of enter pages, they're reading your content and going on, maybe, if they come off your homepage, 15, 20 seconds, 10 seconds into them reading, or even 5 seconds into them reading an article or going to another page, just having that there as an option is something that's not intrusive whatsoever. But if they get on their site and on your site 2 seconds later, there's a pop-up, and then they go read an article and then pop up again, and then they try to get off your site and pop up again, which I've seen before, and it's annoying, and I don't want to go back to that site because, it's just kind of, I hate clicking the X every 2 seconds. So that was a good point, Robos. You really don't want to be intrusive with it because, that's really hindering from the user experience.
Right. Now, the number to call in, guys, if you have questions, is 855-722-0006. Call in with anything you want to talk about online. We're pretty well diverse. If we don't know the answer, we can definitely get it and find it for you. You can also, if you enjoy the content that we're providing and the help that we're giving you, I would request that you please follow us on Sprecher. I don't know why I have such a problem with that. Follow us on Sprecher. We're trying to build that up. This is a new location for us. And then Also, if you look down below at the very bottom of the screen when you load the page, there's a little, it looks like a comment bubble, whatever you want to call it. You can actually type in a chat there if you need to chat.
Yeah, we might be saying it wrong, Spreaker. But just to let you know, it's SPREAKER.com. So right. Spreaker, right. However you want to pronounce it.
And then, also starting next week, probably, I don't want to say next week for sure, but we are building a website right now for Search Talk Live. And you'll be able to go right there and listen to the broadcast from our website. So that'll make it a little bit easier for you. You can still do chat and all that stuff there too.
Yeah, that's coming soon, but we're really excited about that and the content that we're going to be providing on it. Not only will you be able to listen to live shows, past shows, and all that kind of good stuff, but, we're going to be doing a little writing, sharing our thoughts, kind of what's going on in the SEO, digital marketing world, social media, and everything like that. So we're kind of going to give our insight on it. And, that's something I'm really excited about. I'm not the best writer in the world, but this is something I really do enjoy writing about. So it's definitely something we're excited about, and we hope to provide that good quality website and something y'all get excited about as well.
Yeah, another topic I want to bring up, and I've been thinking about this, and I haven't even talked to you about this, Caleb. But
okay, just spring it on me.
All right, if you're a B2B business, I'm going to show you a technique that you can actually find out who's, kind of like if they go to your website, to give you an idea who's looking at your product or service. Now, if you go into Google Analytics, let me pull this up real quick. In the Google Analytics, there is a section that'll tell you what the ISP is, and I don't know it right off the bat, and I'm pulling it up right now. But if you're a B2B, and if you look up the ISP, which I believe it's under, anyway, it is in there, and I'll have to get back to you on that because I can't talk and walk and chew gum at the same time. There it is. Okay, it's under technology and network. So what you're going to do when you can use filters in there to filter out, the common ISPs. But what happens is if you're a B2B and you have another business visit your website, their ISP is under their corporate name, their company name. You can look in those analytics and find out who those companies are that are looking at your site. Then, now there are services out there that will give you this information all aggregated together. But if you're, a small company and you want to, you're looking at a way to get leads, you can look at this and find out through the ISPs what corporation is looking at your website or your product or service. Then you can go to like a LinkedIn or something that provides company information on, like maybe if you're an IT or software department company. You'll have a good idea of what department's probably looking at your website. Then you can take that information and go to LinkedIn and look up those people that are in those positions and possibly look at, as that possibly being another lead for your company to maybe contact that person. Or even maybe just send a direct mail or something to them. So they're like, if they've seen your website and then they get something in the mail, hey, they've seen you again. They're like, man, these guys must be, huge.
Yeah. Well, that's powerful information.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's very powerful information. Knowing, those companies that have visited your site, and once again, they're interested, or they've seen you, they've seen your brand. That's just another way to build that brand, put that image in their head, and that's very powerful information.
Yep. And you can when you do that, you obviously don't want to freak them out. Hey, how did you know I was looking for this? Calling them up or whatever. I mean, you can do that.
Oh, creeper.
But you can play dumb or whatever. But putting yourself out there as far as in an email or if it's direct mail or something, or even using retargeting. I would highly recommend retargeting for any website.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a B2B, what retargeting is, for those of you that don't know, you can take retargeting and it's called a pixel on your website. And what it does is when a person visits your website, it downloads that pixel onto your computer. It's called a cookie. And what the cookie does is it serves an ad. Every time you go to a different website that's in, let's say, Google's network, it'll serve that ad on that website and follow that person around forever. this does a couple of things. One, it makes your company like it's just this massive marketing machine, and may really give some credibility to you. Plus, you want to be in somebody's face as much as you possibly can for branding. And that's huge for that. But, if it's somebody that's possibly potentially looking at a software program or a product you're offering or whatever, a blog, whatever it may be, those type of things, the cost per click is a lot less than you would pay for just a normal pay-per-click ad. And even if you don't do any advertising at all, except for retargeting or remarketing, it's called both. But then I highly recommend it, because you will see a huge soar in things as far as people visiting your site and coming back. You'll have repeat visits to your site, which will eventually lead to hopefully a conversion,
hopefully,
or a sell or whatever it may be.
Right.
Also, you really need to look at that and evaluate that, because all it is basically it's taking a image, a display banner, and it could be in any size. It could be on any website. It can show up on CNN.com. How much credibility is that? That's huge. Any of the big top name sites, you can have these things show up on, and then if they see your ad on something like that, boom, instant credibility.
Right.
They know that you must be spending a ton of money, which you're really not, on advertising. So that makes your business look bigger than it is.
Right.
So you can use those kind of things alongside of what that technique I just told you about the ISPs. It's actually under network. It's under, audience, technology, and network. And that right there will give you an idea. And you can actually, there's filters inside analytics that will filter out all the ones you don't want. It takes some time to do that, but it's worth it.
855-722-0006. That is 855-722-0006. This is Search Talk Live with Robert and Caleb. Also, you can hit us up on Twitter at Search Talk Live. Tweet at us, ask questions, make comments. We don't get offended easily. So if you don't like what we're talking about, you can tell us. Or if you love what we're talking about, let us know. And if you got questions that could be on the show, we always love questions. We always love people who want to better their knowledge of digital marketing as we do. And we got some experience, we got some knowledge, and we'd love to share it with you if you have specific questions. And I always believe that if you got that question, there's many other people that have the same one. So don't be scared to call in 855-722-0006.
Yeah. So that's a big thing too. And there's also, I believe you can do, there's some dashboards that you can download inside Google Analytics that's in there. They have a gallery basically, or a library, if you want to call it, where you can download pre-made templates that automatically sort out and give you a dashboard that you're looking for to give you that information, so you're not digging for it all the time. It does speed up things quite a bit. There's also, let's see. I think that covers it.
Is that it?
Yeah, but hashtag us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Hashtag Search Talk Live.
Let's do it.
But I hope everybody's enjoying the show, and this information is good for you. Give us a call, 855-722-0006. We will answer your questions live on the air. Or if you want to go over your website, we'll review your website for live on the air, kind of give you a little promotion there. Not really, but
yep.
Yeah.
No, we love looking at websites and seeing what they're doing, see what's going on. And if we can give our feedback to help you out, then we're more than happy to do it.
Yeah, and please follow us on Spreaker, SPREAKER.com.
I think we're saying that wrong, but we'll keep saying Spreaker.
Yeah, we'll call it Spreaker.
We'll call it
somebody
Spreaker.
Corrects us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what else we got? What do you want to talk about?
Oh, man. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Still got 26 minutes.
Yeah, we do. One thing I do want to talk about is outreach, link building. That's something that I'm heavily involved in. And a question I did have this past week is how do you come up with ideas for outreach link building, as far as, whether you're reaching out maybe to be a resource on a website, if you see that somebody's writing content about something that, a same thing that you've done or something specific that you've written, it would be an awesome resource for that article and for that site, or for guest posting. How do you find opportunities for guest posting? That's one thing that it can be tough to find those. And one thing you have to be very careful of. Yeah. Thank you, Rob. Reminding me of the tool I use. But how do you find opportunities from guest posting? How do you find opportunities for building those quality links? And there's a couple of tools that you can really use. HARO, Help a Reporter Out, is an awesome tool to use. That if you just go to Help a Reporter Out, type it in your search engine and look it up and build an account, you can get direct questions, direct contacts in your inbox of people who they need feedback, they need content, they need guest posting, they need quotes, they need content from other sources, and you can be that source for them. And it's an awesome way to not only build your credibility, to get very high quality backlinks, and to build your branding. It's an awesome tool to use. And there's really some big time websites on there, some big writers that use that tool to find these resources, and they will cite you on there in their articles, and they'll use your resource, and that just builds your credibility big time. And you want to talk about if people are sharing content that your site is associated with. I know it's not directly, your page, but man, that just builds you up, that builds your credibility, that allows you to be seen as a very authoritative resource, and you can open up so many doors just by doing that. So that's an awesome tool to use. The one good way to do it is just kind of search for, find a topic that you want to focus on. And I recently did, a moving website. That's one I did a lot of outreach for. I won't name any names, but really we dove into the college aspect of it. Moving to college, moving out of college, moving back into your parents' home. There's so many topics that you can cover. So you can find really creative topics and find blogs, find sites that talk about those things and offer your expertise on whatever you may be doing. And so that was one way we were able to tap in and really focus on it. And, all these blogs that talked about college students, the college life, college living, even some EDU sites that had blogs on them were very receptive of what we were offering and the topics we were offering and what we wanted to cover, because it gave them a whole different perspective and a whole different dynamic that their audience hadn't heard before. And so if you can find really creative methods, if you can find, whatever you may be offering, if you talk about, financial services, or you talk about, if you talk about financial services, you can go into parenting blogs and how you can, the impacts your finances with kids, going to private school, just anything that's going on in that parent realm, you can tap into the financial aspect of it. So you kind of get creative with it, but don't focus on specifically your niche. Find other niches that talk about that, just touch on what you're talking about. And a lot of people think, well, if it's not relevant to me, it's going to hurt me. And, they see the relevancy of the link. Well, that's very true, but it's the relevancy of the content. So if it's talking about what you are associated with, what you are, what you offer and what you talk about, if the topic, if the content is associated with that, then you're going to be fine. So you can get creative with it. Yeah.
And that's, Help a Reporter Out. That is the URL.
Yeah.
HELPAREPORTER.com. Or you can just Google HARO.
Yeah. HARO.
But you need to sign up for it. It's free to sign up for, and you'll get an email every day that tells you, what people are, what reporters are looking for, or websites. And it's if you, it covers all the topics: finance, health, everything. So eventually, even if you want to wait until you find something that you're an expert in, or you're a niche,
you don't have to respond to everything.
Yeah, no. But if you have something you can give some valid information to and good quality information as content or whatever you want to call it, you can send them an email, and then if they're interested, they'll email you back. You can't hound these people.
No, you don't want to hound them. You can lose your credibility real quick if you email them, call them, and visit them at home and all this other stuff. You don't want to do all that, but you want to send them really, really quality answer, quality content on what they're asking for. And for your own site, you can even ask, you can be the one asking for a response, for some insight, some resources. That's a really great opportunity for your own website to build your content up, to have, quality resources on your site. And if you have them on your site answering certain questions, maybe including them, you don't have to say, well, they're the expert, I'm not, whatever it may be. You can get creative with who you want to respond to you don't have to include everybody. You can regulate whose answers you use, as a source, but they're going to want to share it with their audience. Hey, I was quoted on this site, or they used me as a resource, or, you can find me here on, whatever.com. They're going to share it with their audience. And that's one thing. If you're going to use somebody, really check out how active they are on social media, what their audience is like, what the quality of their site is. If you see that they have a really big listenership that really shares all of their content and they're very engaging, then that's an awesome resource to use, because if they say that they're found on your website and you can find, them as a quote or as a resource on your site, and they shoot it out to their followers, then boom, there you go. You're going to spread like wildfire. And so that's an awesome resource to use as well to get your content out there.
And more credibility.
Influence. Yeah, it's all about the influence, man.
Yeah. So that's definitely a good place to tap into for links. But, even if it isn't for links, it's for credibility.
Yeah. And you never should have the mindset to where, hey, this is only for links. In the back of your head, in the back of everybody's head, everybody knows what it's for, but the main focus, again, should be providing that quality content, enhancing that user experience, and just really, having that awesome content that people actually want to interact with.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good topic to bring up. Now, what would you say? I mean, like I have always had the mindset as far as links go is to always, not just to get a link from a different site, but to make sure that site brings you traffic. Because I'm a firm believer that, Google has a way of knowing that, that link's just dead or are people actually using it? You know?
No, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the major things when I'm even talking to somebody about, writing something for their site or having a resource on their as a link on their page or anything of that nature. Before I even reach out, I make sure that they meet certain guidelines and they meet certain expectations, and how quality of a site do they have? What's their content like? Are they active and engaging on social media? Is this something? It's kind of guilty by association. Right. I mean, that's something your parents always taught you. Don't be with those people. You're just guilty by association if you're not doing anything. So it's kind of a guilty by association thing. And so if you put in your resource, if you're putting your content, if you're having a link on a page where the content's poor, nobody's engaging with it. Sure, it's a link. That's all well and good, but it's just sitting there. And they're really understanding in how they can see whether a link, the content around it, the quality of the site it's on, the traffic it's getting, how it enhances the site it is on. All those things are taken into effect. So reaching out just for a link and, it might be on a low quality site and you're like, oh, okay, well, I built a link. Well, the thing is, link building takes so much time link earning now. I'm sorry, I keep calling it link building. Link earning takes so much time and effort, but it pays off. But they're really wanting you to step back and change the whole mindset of, just getting a link just for a link. And now it's all about the quality. It's all about how you're enhancing not only their site, but you're also helping your site. Yeah.
I mean, and I'm a firm, I know that Google knows because they hit sites, they spider them, even if it's a no follow. I think Google knows when somebody hits a link and how many times somebody hits a link and goes to your site, because that's where they get that referral traffic from.
Absolutely.
that's got to be, that's got to add more value to that link.
Yeah.
In Google's eyes.
Yeah. That's
obviously
huge.
not. I mean, obviously the owner of the site as well that gets all that traffic, but definitely, I think that that's a ranking signal that helps boost the rank of that from that link.
Yeah, I mean it has to be, because I mean you're providing. They're seeing you as an authority on that topic, and they're saying that you're high quality and people are wanting what you're providing. And so, if you're in that and you have that referral traffic, then that's just going to boost that content up, and it's going to be sustainable, and, it's going to boost it up big time. And so that's definitely a huge impact.
Yeah. Now, the number to call in, we've got about 15 minutes, guys. So call in with your questions. We'd love to hear from you. We talk to people all over the world all the time. So, if you have bad English or whatever, it doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
The number is 855-722-0006. Again, the number is 855-722-0006. Hey, one thing I wanted to bring up, and I'm going to call these people out. I'm finding out, I don't know who are you can't talk. Google Plus, I like Google Plus. I like the Google Hangouts. I like that stuff. I mean, there's some tweaks and stuff that need to make it better.
Yeah.
But I'm getting so many fake profiles being set up, and I talked to some people in the SEO community, and they're telling me that a lot of these accounts are being used to link to websites because they do follow tags on Google Plus. Some retarded reason, excuse my language, but people are creating fake profiles just so they can link to these websites, and that's their linking scheme or whatever it is. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and I'm so tired of people following me with fake accounts because it does nothing for you, your business, and certainly Google's not stupid to give you link juice off of Google Plus.
No, I think that's something they're going to nip in the bud. I've seen it too on Google Plus and other sites where you can build your profile and you can have a link to your site, and it is follow link, and they're having a big issue with people creating those fake profiles just to get that link. But I don't think it means anything. It doesn't last. It doesn't mean anything because those not going to affect you or whatever. You didn't have to do anything for them. Like, you didn't earn it. You didn't do anything for them. They know it's there, and they know, that people put links on that site to link to their site. It's all just a reference point. So if people do come to your page, they can go to it, but they know that you didn't do anything for it. They know it's there and it doesn't mean anything. So it might look good and be like, okay, well, I got a link on Google Plus page for a client or whatever, but it doesn't do anything. And I think they're very smart and to realize which links matter and which links don't. And those are the ones that fall into links just don't matter. Just like some directories out there that you might put your site in, those links don't matter. I mean, you just didn't earn anything. You didn't have to do anything to get them.
Right. And it's not going to last. It's not going to be a long-lasting link.
No, it's not going to be.
And it's also, I mean, even if Google looks at that profile, they're going to want to see some kind of activity. You just got to. What are you tweeting about?
Yeah.
Or not tweeting about. What are you posting on there?
Right.
And there's nothing there. It's just a blank account with nothing in but a link to a website.
Yeah.
You really think that's going to help?
They recognize
that's not
that.
Quality.
No, that's not quality whatsoever.
Not at all.
So that's a good point to bring up, Robert, because, if you are using it, and unfortunately there's certain SEO services that do this just to build those quick links up. And that's one of the things, one of our earlier shows on what you should be looking for in an SEO expert and an SEO company is if they're providing you a link building, backlink profile and they're giving you a report, you see ones like this on there, that's when you need to turn and run and hightail it because, they're just, they don't know what they're doing and they're just trying to get these things real quick for you that it looks good. You see a Google Plus or whatever it may be. It looks awesome, but it's nothing. It does nothing for you. Right.
Now, one thing we're going to start doing with this show is every week we're going to be having a guest. We're going to try every week anyway. If it takes time to book these things and set them up, but as we get the flow going, we're going to have a special guest. Like the first part of next month, we're going to have someone from Moz. I know we talk about Moz a lot. I'm like, well, hey, let's go for Moz first. Let's go talk to these guys. But they're going to go through and walk us through what the benefits of using Moz tools are. And
we've promoted them enough, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for those of you that don't use Moz right now and would like to kind of get an insider look at what Moz is capable of doing, I think it's a great way to do it. And then, what I would do if I were you is they have a 30-day trial. It's free. You can actually go in and walk through the account with them and see how it works and how it would benefit your website as a webmaster.
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of cheap, so I don't really try to pay for much, but that's one of the ones that with all what they provide, and if you're serious about what you're doing, it definitely pays off.
Yeah, you get a lot for the money. If you know how to use the tools, and I think that's going to be a great interview with them to talk about that stuff so people can get a better insight on that stuff. I mean, they do provide a lot of support and stuff, videos, all that good stuff, but to actually hear somebody how to use certain tools and that stuff, I think it would be great for, the listeners.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I'm going to shoot for the sky. I'm going to try and get Larry Page from Google, something like that,
Hey, let's get him. All we can do is try.
Yeah. But you must follow first. So follow us on Spreaker.
Follow us on Spreaker. Follow us on Twitter.
Call us on 855-722-0006.
Got it right this time. I like it.
So, what else we got to talk about here? We got about
8 minutes or so. Yeah.
Yeah, David, how are we looking? 8 minutes.
Shout out to Mr. David, by the way.
Yes, David is our producer/engineer. He produces the show every week. Does a fantastic job. Give him a hand. I wish we had one of those clapping machines.
I know. We need one of those little soundboards or whatever. The cheers and all that kind of stuff. Definitely need it.
You hook it up, Dave?
He'll hook it up.
All right. Well, and there's let's see, what else? Anything else in the news that you saw? I did. I brought it up this morning to you. I sent out a tweet, and I can't find the tweet. I don't know if Big Brother came in and swiped it away. But
you sent it to me, but I didn't see it.
But I was looking at Google's patent on links, and it was real interesting. And I will tweet it again if I find it. But someone had tweeted out the different patents made on Google search algorithms. It's a good read, and it might be boring for some, but definitely gives you an insight as how they look at links and how they rank that stuff. It's good information.
Yeah, I would like to read that, Rob. I know you said you sent it to me, but I didn't get it. So, but that's something that's definitely of interest because links and everything like that. There's so much misinformation on them. And what's going on with them. So, yeah, we definitely need to tweet that out, and that's something that would be very interesting.
Now, follow us on Twitter also. We're at Search Talk Live on Twitter. We're also, Caleb, what's your personal?
At CJ_MCE.
Okay, and I'm at Robert, ROBERTOHAVER. If you don't get it on the first try, you can always
try. I will say, if you do follow me on Twitter, I apologize for the football tweets. Now that it's football season, I like to tweet during the Alabama games, Roll Tide. I will say that, and the Steeler games. So you'll get a little conversation on that, but it's mainly SEO, digital marketing, and everything like that. But now that it's football season, you will see some football tweets. So I apologize for that. Yeah. You can kind of shift through those.
And we're also on LinkedIn. You can find us there. We're in the communities on Google Plus,
Facebook.
Facebook, yep. Is it Facebook Search Talk Live?
Yeah, Facebook.com/Search Talk Live.
Yep. And let's see what else. Oh, our website. You will be. I wouldn't go to it now because it's kind of a mess.
Yeah,
we're putting it together now, but it is searchtalklive.com. We got the domain. So once that's complete, I would wait to go and look at it probably next week.
Yeah, just give us some time on that one.
Yeah, we're writing content and everything else. But you can follow us through the whole we're doing a whole branding and building of a brand here on Search Talk Live. And what better for you guys to learn, maybe see how we do it and build this thing up. We're going to make this as big as we possibly can, this Search Talk Live. And obviously it's a niche community, but we would like to share our content and help people. That's what we do here.
Yeah. I mean, that's what this whole thing is about, is that, we see a lot of misinformation, and it's not that we know everything. And when we don't know something, we do a lot of research on finding the best possible answer that we can. But, we're all here to help. That's what Rob and I are here for. And that's why we're doing this. We got a passion for it. And so that's why we love questions. We love your questions. It gives us a guide on, what we can talk about, what people are interested in, kind of anything to help. So, if you got questions for us, you can always tweet at us at Search Talk Live, message us, and we'll bring it up on the show. We'll tweet you back. We'll respond to you. We really want that engagement with our audience, because we know there's a lot of questions out there. We know there's a lot of misinformation, and we just don't want you to fall into that trap.
Yeah, and we do this show every Tuesday, 3:30 to 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. So this will be a good place to meet, either at Spreaker. Man, this is terrible.
Spreaker.
I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, but you can come here, or you can go to our website. Our website should be ready by next show. You can listen in there and do your chats and like us and follow us. Hint, hint.
Not plugging anything.
Yeah. Just if search engine marketing and that stuff is your passion, like us, we'd love to hear from you. You don't have to ask a question. You can call in with a topic, and we could talk the whole hour on it if you want.
Absolutely.
We're open to that.
We are definitely open to it.
But if you, I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say email us, but I don't have the email set up yet.
No email set up yet. We've been doing the show. This is episode 15. And
yes.
So, since we've had such good interaction with our audience and through a lot of other things, we really want to, it's getting us really excited to kind of take this thing and move forward with it. And so that's what we're going to do. And we're in the beginning stages of it. And there's a lot to come. So bear with us for right now as we move forward and as we get this thing going. But I promise you, a lot of good stuff to come.
Yeah. By hopefully into next week. I don't know. iTunes is taking their time. They probably got a ton of submissions, but we should be on iTunes next week sometime.
We should be their top priority.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kidding. But I think we're going to end the show a little short today.
Yeah.
What do you think?
A minute short. That's all right. I think we covered a lot. It was a really good topic.
Thank you for everybody's support and listening to the show. Please like us on Spreckler or follow us on Twitter or Facebook. Thank you very much for your time, and we will see you next week.
We appreciate it.
Search Talk Live is a presentation of the Robert Palmer family of companies.